I'm Dr. Lindsay Coble.
Dr. Noel Crosby, and we're the Sound Sisters, and this is the Hearing Diaries.
And today we're talking about finding your voice, not just on stage, but in life. We're going to talk about Noel's journey with Toastmasters. Toastmasters is often seen as a public speaking organization, but for many people, it becomes something so much deeper, a place for confidence, clarity, and growth. Noel, you've had such a meaningful journey, and we're excited to hear about how it shaped you and how it shaped your confidence with speaking. And I'm just going to ask Noel some questions about her experience, and she's going to tell us all about it. So let's start with what originally drew you to Toastmasters and what were you hoping to gain?
That is such a great question because for years I was wanting to join Toastmasters. I always knew it was a place that you could go where you could expose yourself to public speaking all the time, but at the same time I was a little, not scared, but the thought of it frightened me, right? When
Mhm.
I had a friend who was doing it and she said, "Oh, you have to every time it's once a week and you have to get up once a week and you have to have speeches and you have to do this and then people critique you." And I was like, I really want to feel more comfortable with my public
Mhm.
speaking, but I don't know if I want to put myself out there like
Mhm.
that. And then I was going through a time where I really just wanted to share some things. And I was involved with a company that I was doing a lot of presentations with. And I just wanted to feel more comfortable.
Mhm.
So I just remember one day I looked it up, I found out when the meeting was going to be, and I said, I am going to do it. And so I dragged a friend of mine with me for the
Yeah.
first meeting. She did not want to be there and she was not going to be coming back.
But
But
she went
after
with
that
you.
first meeting,
What
yeah,
a
after the
friend.
first meeting, I was like, no, I'm sticking with it. I'm going to do this. And I joined immediately.
So for people who don't know as much about Toastmasters, is it
Yeah.
like a local organization or you just looked it up online and found a local group doing it, or
Yeah.
how does it work?
So it is a international
Okay.
organization, and it is very large. And I know all my history about it, but I can't remember it off the top of my
Hmm.
head. But it's been around for quite a while, and there's local chapters of the international organization. And there, like in some places, there might be 6 or 7 different chapters.
Hmm.
So, like in Sarasota, we have an evening chapter, a lunchtime chapter, and there might even be some companies that have their own, and I guess they're not chapters, they're clubs, their own club for certain companies, and everyone in like maybe the Sarasota County government has its own club. So there's different opportunities to be involved in different clubs. And, it has a lot to do with the timing of when it is.
Hmm.
And then during COVID, we transitioned a lot of clubs to hybrid clubs.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
our club now, we meet 6:30 on Wednesday nights and it's an hour and a half. But if you can't come to the meeting, you can come on to Zoom. And so we have some members that actually live in Boston and somebody else lives in New Hampshire. We even had somebody from the Philippines as a member because they could just come on and do it through Zoom. It
Wow.
is a little different through Zoom versus standing up in front of people, but it's accessible to anyone who would like to have that experience.
Yeah, do you have to be accepted into
No,
a
not
group?
really. You just
Or you
have
can
to
just sign
choose.
up. You just
Yeah,
have
you
to
just
choose.
sign up, and it costs like $50 or
Mhm.
$120 if you sign up for a longer period of time.
Mhm.
So you usually do it for 6 months. A lot of people will sign up for Toastmasters when they have a specific thing that they want to do.
Like to
Like
prepare
somebody,
for, something to
yeah, like
prepare for.
somebody like I have a big presentation coming up, so I want to
Okay.
refine my presentation and my comfort with speaking. I have a wedding coming up and I'm giving a
Okay.
toast and I
Mhm.
want to feel comfortable. But there's some lifers like me that once I started going, I started in 2019.
Oh,
And once
wow.
I started
Wow.
going, I have had such a benefit from just going every week. And
Mm.
I'll give you a little bit of an outline of what we do there, but
Mhm.
in a minute. But just the benefit of getting up every week and having to do something with public speaking has just been really like surprisingly affected me in a lot of different ways in my life. Yeah,
Do
it's
you
been a great
remember, you said you
experience.
dragged your friend with you to the first meeting. What was that
Yeah.
first meeting like, or
Yeah.
what'd you do?
So everyone was really welcoming because we are so supportive of a group because we know how we felt the first time we had to get up there and give a
Hmm.
speech or introduce ourselves or something. And so the first meeting I went to, everybody was really welcoming. And there's different parts of the Toastmasters meeting. So you have somebody that introduces the like an opener, and then you have a Toastmaster. And the Toastmaster is somebody who has to guide and lead the meeting and make sure everyone's keeping to their time and following the program and making sure things are flowing correctly. So you can be a Toastmaster. Then there's a inspirational moment. So you can get up and give an inspirational moment. There's a humorist, so somebody can get up and give a joke. There's a word of the day. You will give the word and then you explain what it is and then you track how many times it's used.
Hmm.
There's also an educational moment. Then there's the section where there's the speeches. So the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. You sign up for them and you do your speech, and then that speech is critiqued. So
Hmm.
that's where the whole evaluation part comes around. So you can be the speaker or you can be the evaluator. And the
Okay.
evaluator is great because it teaches you how to critique a speech, and you don't want to say, oh, everything was great, because the person wants feedback. So you
Yeah.
learn how to give feedback in a constructive way and help the person get better. And then there's something called table topics. And table topics is when you get up and you have to talk for 1 to 2 minutes on a subject that you may not know anything about. And you have to just talk about it and be done by 2 minutes.
Oh,
And so there's
God.
all these different aspects to it. And some days I just want to not have to plan for anything, so I'll
Hmm.
do a role where it's just something like I'll be the general evaluator or the evaluator where I'm learning as I go versus if I want to do a speech, I have to spend the time beforehand
Sharing.
planning the speech and presenting it, and really they don't like you to use a lot of notes.
Hmm.
So they want you to, once you're doing your speeches, you want to do it where you're just looking at your notes. You're not really reading off a piece of
Hmm.
paper or anything. And then there's the ah counter and the grammarian, and they track how often we use our filler words. So's, likes, has, and I will tell you that I am a big sower. So is a word that I use as I'm transitioning from one thing to the other.
Okay.
So we always laugh when I get counted how many times I said so, and that
Oh,
would be the word that I tend to use more. But it makes you more aware of it. So you're
yeah,
thinking,
definitely.
hear other people talking, and you think, oh my gosh, do I use that many filler words? So you're
Yeah.
more aware of how you're presenting things.
Gives you good self-awareness. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
self-awareness. Was there
Yeah.
a point in the past, 6 years or so that you noticed that I am more confident? I'm much better at giving presentations.
Yeah.
This is
So
working.
yes. So just to let you know, like one of the reasons why I wanted to do it is when I was younger, I had a really severe speech problem.
Mhm.
And I went to speech therapy. That's kind of how I got into this profession. And so I always had this hesitation about getting up and speaking. Even though I did it, I challenged myself, I would put myself out there. I wanted to feel more comfortable because
Mhm.
I still had that block from when I was younger.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, I don't know, I was doing something, and it really was just this past year. All of a sudden, I just started feeling so much more comfortable in
Mhm.
all of the presentations I was doing. And I just felt like I finally made it to this point
Mhm.
where I want to do it. I'm not wondering why I signed up for something that scares me. I'm
Yeah.
excited and encouraged about it. And it really took, quite a few years. And I would say I don't go every week, but I go most weeks.
Mhm.
So it's every week for a lot of years, and finally, I just got to that point where I'm like, oh, good, I'm good. I'm still going to keep going
Mhm.
because I feel like you just need to stay within that and keep putting yourself out there. But it's really been great. And if anyone just wants to, be brave and step out and do something like this, if you feel like you're missing out because you're not comfortable with public speaking, I feel like Toastmasters could really, really be the place for you.
Well, I feel like in our profession as audiologists, there's so many opportunities to present on your research, to present
Yes.
on your clinical processes and procedures, to talk at AAA like we did. And like you
Yeah.
said, so many people have that stage fright or fear
Yeah.
of is what I have to offer? Do people even want to hear it? And so I love that you feel like Toastmasters has helped so much with your journey because you do so much public speaking for the Florida Academy of Audiology and
Right.
at a lot of our conferences that we attend. So I love that. How would you say Toastmasters has changed how you see yourself or how you share
Yeah.
with others?
I like that question. I feel just a much more confident. Like,
Hmm.
I think one of the reasons why I was willing, you and I decided to do this is because I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I can
You know,
lead
I think
that.
it's given me a lot more confidence to do things like that and to be willing to sign up for more things to speak at.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I think it's just made me look at myself as a more confident person. Yeah.
Hmm. I love that. If you had to sum up your Toastmasters journey in one word, what would it be and why?
I would say it would be brave. I was
Hmm.
brave. I did something that scared me. I stepped out there, and I'm really proud of myself that
Hmm.
I've made such progress. So,
I love that. Well, let's wrap up our Toastmasters conversation.
yeah.
Toastmasters isn't about becoming someone else, it's about becoming more of who you already are. Noelle, thank you for
Yep.
sharing your journey and reminding us that finding your voice is an act of courage, growth, and self-trust. So, for anyone interested
Oh,
in
I like that.
Toastmasters, please reach out to Noelle or look it up online. I'm
Yeah,
sure you probably
Toastmasters
have one.
International. They have an amazing website with so many resources on it. So
So, thank you for
Thank you
joining us.
for letting me talk about my Toastmasters journey.